90 seconds. That's all I'm asking for. 90 seconds of your life to get a quick look at the HA1 UV. All the details you need to know to figure out whether or not this is a radio you want to pursue. I'm Bob KD4BMG, HOA Ham, ready, set, go. Airband, APRS, DMR Fusion D-Star, time machine to take you back to undo that regrettable high school decision, durable, NOAA weather,
the inland waters lake shop,
programming cable, USB-C charging, PD charging, brilliant screen, memory mode and VFO mode, of course. Spectrally clean, i.e. no spurious emissions that make the FCC mad. Squeaky clean, yes. Keyboard programmable through an intuitive menu system. 1980s style CPS software programmable. Chirp programmable. IP67 waterproof. Yep. The shirt is finally dried out and the 90 seconds is up. I kept to my end of the bargain. I rapid fired information at you so you could decide if you wanted to stick around and talk further about the HA1 UV. You know what I found interesting is that the XYL all of a sudden took an interest in amateur radio, and I wonder if it had anything to do with the fact that she was on the other end of the bucket for that IP67 test. I hope you enjoyed that. Just wanted to give you a little bit of entertainment and have some fun with the review. This radio is worth more than a 90-second conversation. It is a very good radio, and I use the word basic, not as an insult, but it doesn't have D-Star, Fusion, DMR, airband, the ability to go back in time and undo an ill-advised decision, right? There's nothing superfluous. There's no fluff. It's a UHF VHF radio that's very well built. It feels good in the hand. And now I've got the HA1G, the GMRS version of this radio, which came out, I'm going to say maybe 5 to 8 months before the UV did. The UV came out in February of 2025, just around the time of Hamcation. So well-built radios that do what UHF radios and VHF radios are supposed to do with no fluff. Do I have anything to say about these radios that I would say, you know, it could use some improvement? Well, Retevis Ailunce always does a very average job on documentation. This is not unusual for radios that come out of China, and fortunately they're intuitive, and those who work with radios all the time, you figure them out pretty quickly. So don't depend on the manual to give you a lot of information about the radio. It's very basic, and in this case, basic really isn't a compliment. The only other thing I could say is that I couldn't figure out how to turn the alarm feature on for this radio. In other words, it has an audible alarm. I think that's meant to scare people away or draw attention to yourself. If you're in an emergency situation, it would only be an audible alarm that people close to you could hear. For the life of me, I couldn't figure out how to turn that on. I wouldn't buy a radio like this for that feature, so that really doesn't bother me, but it's stated as a feature, and I sure wish I could have understood how to turn it on. The final thing I want to show you is the CPS software. So let's go over to our secondary screen. The CPS software is very basic. It's 1980s looking, meaning there's nothing flashy about it. It gets the job done. You can go through the basic settings of your radio. You can add your channels here just like you can from the front panel of the radio itself. Do understand that this radio uses zone lists. So you will add various channels, stations, frequencies to a particular zone, and then you can name the zone. Instead of zone 1, you can call it some custom zone. I actually happen to like that particular feature. For me, it's something that draws me to a radio because I can put various repeaters and frequencies by a geographical area that I might be traveling. So I like that feature. So my bottom line thought on the HA1 UV is that it's a fantastic, well-built, good performing basic radio. If you're looking for a UHF VHF radio, give this one a serious thought. It is, what is the date today? It's May 30th, 2025. So these are still on Amazon at very reasonable prices. And I'll leave a link in the description below. The tariff battle is on worldwide right now, and I really don't know what that's going to do to the price of some of these types of radios that come out of China. More than likely, it's going to increase them. So if you're in the market for a very well-performing, well-built, strong, basic radio, and you're interested in the Ailunce HA1 UV, you might want to head on over to Amazon now and pick it up before, I don't know, it goes up by 50%, 100%, 200%, 1,000%. Who knows? I hope you found the video useful, helpful, a little bit entertaining. Glad you came along for the ride. Talk to you soon, friend 73.